The work I'm presenting is entitled Capturing the Transformative Potential of Protest Events for the General Public, applied to the case of the 2019 International Women's Day in Spain. My name is Manuel Jiménez Sánchez, and I co-authored this work together with Marta Farile and Josep Lobrera. Which is the context or the starting point of this research? We consider that we are experiencing a change in the nature of protest, as is observed in the normalization of protest profile, and more critically, in the increasing mediatization of protest events. And we argue that this change is leading to a transformation in the role of the public in the configuration of these protest events. In this sense, we posit that the configuration of protests as hybrid media events has expanded their opportunities to reach wider audiences and generate attentive and active publics. We wonder whether these massive events have the capacity to influence in the public, whether they are relevant or politically innocuous. To explore this issue, we analyzed the International Women's Day protests in 2019 in Spain. That protest was a spectacular event with more than 500 demonstrations and countless protest activities called across Spain. Our own survey data indicate that 23% of the Spaniards declared to have participated in these events, reaching the 30% among women. But was this massive event of any relevance for the configuration of the public? To test the impact of this event on the public, we designed a telephone survey and collected data through a daily tracking over 20 days, before and after the protest day. Following this rolling cross-section design, we collected between 100 and 120 interviews every day. This over time-controlled way of distribute interviewing allow us to capture, as the event unfolds, the processes of public enlargement and activation. We propose 4 indicators to grasp the effects on the public of these events, and a total of 6 dependent variables: awareness, attention, conversation, and opinion formation. Awareness refers to the visibility of the event by reaching a large audience. As an indicator of awareness, we use a question asking respondents if they have heard about the protest event. Attention refers to the salience of the event by capturing the interest of those in the audience and hence transforming those audience into an attentive public. We use 2 indicators of attentiveness: declare interest in following the news about the event and having sought information about the event on internet. Conversation refers to the activation of the public by prompting communicative interaction among citizens. These interactions can be personal, face-to-face conversations, or may occur online through social media formats. We have considered 2 indicators: frequency of conversation with others, or having shared or commented online contents about the event. Opinion formation refers to the adoption or reinforcement of citizens' stance on the issue at stake. As an indicator, we include a variable measuring respondents' self-assessments about their capacity to express and defend their opinion on a specific demand or concern linked to gender inequalities. The first 2 indicators, awareness and attention, refer to the event capacity to generate large and interested publics. The last two indicators, conversation and opinion formation, refer to the capacity of the event to activate the public. For the analysis of our 6 dependent variables are recodified as dummy variables. Our main independent variable is temporal exposure to the event or treatment. We consider this variable as exogenous to all dependent variables. To increase statistical efficacy, 2 moments of exposition are defined. So treatment adopts 2 values, being surveyed before the event, that we consider not treated or less exposed, or being surveyed after the event, that we consider treated or much exposed to the event. We also consider other independent variables, particularly participation in 2018 International Women's Day protests. The same event taking place 1 year earlier was also a massive event and probably more impressive or impactful for the public. Gender, it's an important variable given the content of the protest, and we also consider age and education. To test how the exposure to the event affects on our dependent variables, we conducted a series of binomial logic models. The results indicate that the values of all 6 dependent variables are higher among those treated. That means that the event was capable of generating an attentive public, and also that the event generated the activation of part of that public, provoking conversations and opinion formation about gender inequality issues. Let me show you some of the model's results. These figures plots point estimates for all logic coefficients of the 3 dependent variables that we consider as indicatives of audience enlargement and generation of an interested or attentive public. That is, having heard about the event, interest in news about the event, or having sought information on internet about the event. As can be seen, the 3 dependent variables are positively associated with the experience of the protest events. They are also positively associated to prior involvement in the 2018 protest event. This indicates, as expected, that both the level of awareness and the attention paid to the event in 2019 are partly explained by previous experience. That is, by having taken part in the 2018 women protest event. However, they also suggest that the 2019 protest event still had the capacity to further enlarge the audience and engage the interests of new people. As it can be also seen, there are, however, no relevant or little difference by gender, only a small difference in favor of women in the clear interest in following news about the event. As shown in this figure, we tested the extent to which the potential effect of treatment is conditioned by gender and previous participation experience. To test this possibility, we specify interaction between exposure to the event or treatment and gender on the one hand, and the treatment and previous participation on the other. Among those who protested in 2018, the treatment doesn't seem to have a relevant influence. In contrast, the differences in the probabilities of declaring interest between those treated and those not treated are substantial and significant for those who didn't protest in 2018. To put it another way, the effect of the International Women's Day protest event, the treatment effect, is conditioned by the experience of participation in the same event the previous year. This makes sense, since those who participate in the protest activities in the previous year might already be aware of it, and consequently, the day that they were interviewed is less relevant for them in this matter. The right-hand side of figure 2 suggests a similar finding for the case of respondents declare interest in the event. Among those reporting no prior participation, the likelihood of declaring interest in the protest events is higher among those treated. In short, the International Women's Day protest event in 2019 still had the capacity to reach new citizens previously unaware of the event and to capture the attention of others, enlarging its public. But was the event capable of activating that public? Figure 3 plots point estimates for all logic coefficients of the 3 dependent variables that will relate to the activation of effects of protest events, that is, face-to-face conversation, sharing, commenting online, and opinion formation. Overall, these values indicate that the exposure to the protest events, the treatment effect, is associated with variables related to both conversation and opinion formation. That is, those respondents that were temporarily more exposed to the event were also more likely to engage in conversation, both through face-to-face talks and by sharing and commenting online. Similarly, exposure to the event is associated with an increase in the portion of citizens that perceive themselves to be capable of expressing their opinion about topics related to gender inequalities. Here, the figure also showed that the gender differences are relevant only for those cases of online interaction, indicating that women became an active public in greater portion than men. The left-hand side of this figure shows the values of engaging in online interaction predicted by the treatment, comparing between those who participated in the event of the previous year with those who didn't participate. Predicted probabilities suggest that the treatment effect is of higher magnitude for those who participated in 2018 protests. This makes sense, since those who participated in 2018 might already have different sources of online information and interactions about the new event in 2019. The right-hand side of the figure shows that the likelihood of opinion formation, that is, feeling capable to defend your viewpoint about gender inequalities, increase among women treated, exposed to a greater extent to the event. This suggests that the event was a particularly favorable context for women to talk and reflect about the issue of gender inequalities, increasing their self-perception as being competent to adopt a stance about these issues. Previous results lead us to conclude that the 2019 International Women's Day Protest Day in Spain increased the number of citizens aware of the event taking place, that is, enlarging the protest audience. Also, that the event added new people to the interested public, especially among those who had not participated in the similar event 1 year earlier, and that the protest event prompted conversation among the public. Notably, among those who attended the protest during the previous year, and that it was an occasion, particularly for women, to learn and form their opinions about gender inequality. Overall, we posit that mass protest events work. That is, that mass protest events might become propitious context for public opinion formation. However, more research is needed to learn under what circumstances they are capable of activating those large publics. The research also shows the possibilities of rolling cross-sectional design to capture those effects. Thanks for your attention.